Two people can move to Charlotte the same week, pay the same price, and end up living two completely different lives. One's out on the water by Saturday, the other is stuck on I-77 wondering what went wrong. So after close to 13 years and serving almost 400 families, let me give you the real pros and cons of Charlotte. The stuff nobody tells you before you move. Con 1, the traffic reality. You know that fresh cup of coffee you pour before work? Imagine it getting cold while you stare at a wall of brake lights. That's the part of Charlotte nobody puts in the highlight reel. When a city grows this fast, the roads just can't keep up. More people means more cars. And Charlotte's been adding folks faster than almost anywhere else in the entire country. Something had to give. And what was that? It was giving up your morning drive. Charlotte ranks around 20th most congested city in the country. And depending on where you live and where you're working, you could lose somewhere around 49 hours a year just sitting in the car. That's more than a full work week gone every single year. The roads to watch out for is I-77, I-85, and I-485. These are the big arteries. And during rush hour, roughly 7 to 9 in the morning and 4 to 6 at night, they crawl. I-77 tends to be the worst of the bunch. But traffic in Charlotte comes down to geography. If your job's in Uptown or South End and you buy along the Blue Line light rail, you might barely touch a highway. Buy in one of the suburbs while you work in the opposite direction, and you're just signed up for that long year in the car. And keep this in mind, because when we get to the lifestyle stuff later, you'll see how much your location decides whether Charlotte feels like a playground or a parking lot. So the right area is about your whole life, 5 days a week. Get it right and you barely think about traffic. Get it wrong and it's the first thing you feel every morning. Now, all that traffic exists for a reason. People keep pouring into the city, and here's what's pulling them in. Pro number 1, the job market. Charlotte doesn't run on tourist or vacation homes. This is a have to move city and a place folks come there because the paycheck is here and the paychecks keep coming. The region's expected to add around 150,000 jobs between 2022 and 2032. That's a whole decade of growth you can plan your entire life around. Banking's the backbone. Charlotte's the second largest banking center in the country. And Bank of America and Wells Fargo keep massive workforce right here in the city. When you've got that strong pull, like everything grows around it, restaurants, retail, construction, services, you name it, jobs make more jobs. But banking isn't the only big industry here. Healthcare has become one of the fastest growing parts of the region, with strong demand expected all the way through 2032. And in tech and professional services, you've got a job market that isn't betting everything on one segment. And here's what that should matter to you as a buyer. A mixed economy protects your investment. When one industry slows, the others keep the city moving. And that's what keeps home values steady over the long haul. Strong, steady paychecks mean people can enjoy where they live. But before you enjoy anything here, you've got to buy your way in, and that's where things get real. But before that, if you're eyeing a move to Charlotte from out of state, this is where having a local in your corner makes a difference. I can give you the neighborhood deep dive that helps you truly settle in smoothly. My contact information is right here and linked in the description. All right, now let's get back to it. Con number 2, the housing market truth. Let's talk about the thing that brought a lot of you to this video in the first place. What's it really cost to live here? For years, Charlotte was the affordable escape. People left New York, San Francisco, Boston, other parts of Texas, and Charlotte felt like a steal. Compared to those cities, it still is. Your dollar goes farther here, but let me be honest with you, Charlotte isn't dirt cheap anymore. Right now, the median home price sits in the low $400,000 price point to the mid $400,000, and that's ticked up over the last few years. Not the wild jumps we saw a few years back, but it is still climbing. Spots like South End, South Park, and out around Ballantyne can be pushed into the higher 500,000s and low 600,000 price point. If you're hunting for value, North Carolina and some of the outer areas still have homes in the upper $300,000, but that market is shifting and inventories getting a little bit higher compared to what it was a year ago. Homes are taking a bit longer to sell and buyers finally have some room to breathe. That's the leverage for buyers. Some sellers are offering closing cost help, some are doing rate buy downs, and some are taking contingencies that wouldn't have been even reviewed just a few years ago. It's still a seller's market, but the frenzy is over. And for a buyer who knows how to work it, that's the real advantage. Now, you spend a kind of money on a home, you better love what you do when you step outside it. Good news there. Pro number 2, the lifestyle. Charlotte's turned into a city where the problem isn't finding something to do. It's picking from all of the opportunities. Car shows, concerts, outdoor movies, community events, weekend get-togethers. The calendar's full of pretty much year-round extravaganzas. You'll run out of days to fit all the events onto your calendar. But what sets Charlotte apart is how close the outdoors truly are. You've got parks and greenways woven right through the city. And then there's a crown jewel, the U.S. National White Center, the largest outdoor whitewater center in the world, sitting on the edge of town with dozens of activities and miles of trails for enjoyment. On a real Saturday, you paddle through rapids in the mornings, grab lunch, and catch a concert at the same afternoon, all without ever leaving the metro. And that's before you factor in the food, which I'll get to near the end of this. And it's become one of the biggest surprises for folks that are truly moving here. But that's coming up. Let's move on for now. So the payoff's simple. You're not burning your weekends driving 2 hours to find something worth doing because it's already here in Charlotte. Charlotte has that big city energy with mountain town access right outside your door. That lifestyle's a huge part of the draw. But living somewhere this warm and green comes with a couple of trade-offs, and I'm not going to pretend that they don't exist. Con number 3, the pollen and pest. That gorgeous green tree canopy that makes Charlotte so pretty is also loading the air with pollen for a big chunk of the year, and it's rolling out the welcome mat for bugs. Let's start with pollen because it is a serious issue. Tree pollen can start as early as February and run through May, with April being the roughest month of all. Then grass pollen takes over and ragweed picks up in the late summer and fall. Add it up and you're breathing pollen for a good stretch of the year. And this isn't just people being dramatic. March of 2025 set record high grass pollen readings tracked by the North Carolina Division of Air Quality. If you've never had allergies in your life, there's a real chance Charlotte will introduce it to you. So make sure that you plan for it. Invest in good air quality filters, HEPA filters, and if you know that you're sensitive, start your medication before the season hits instead of after you're truly miserable. Now, the other house guests that warm weather invites are the bugs, mosquitoes, ants, roaches, spiders, ticks, fleas. There's something for everybody. They come with the territory from late spring through early fall. But for a home buyer, that matters is termites. The Southeast is termite country and Charlotte's no exception. This gets important with homes that have crawl spaces especially, which are common around here. Termites can chew through a home structure before you ever know that they were there. And that's the kind of surprise that turns into a very, very expensive repair. So here's my advice. And this is the part that protects your money. Make sure your home inspection includes a proper termite check. Don't skip it. Then keep a regular pest control plan going once you're in. Think of it like snow removal up north. It just costs of living somewhere in the warm. Now, we know that termites love to eat foundations of your home, but what do the other locals, the people that eat around here? Let me show you Charlotte's food scene. Pro number 3, the food scene. For years, Charlotte had a reputation as just chain restaurant town. Fine dining, but nothing special. Well, not anymore. The food scene here has changed and it has happened fast. We're talking new spots from Southern comfort food, serious coffee, tacos, Mediterranean small plates, fresh pasta, sport lounges, you name it. The range is what you get now. You can eat somewhere new every week and never run out of options, and they are all delicious. I'm telling you this because life isn't just the four walls of your house. It's where you meet your friends on a random night. It's where you take your family when they come to visit. It's how your place slowly starts to feel like home. Charlotte's crossed the line from a sleepy southern town into a full-on city, and the food's a big reason daily life here feels so much richer. That's an upgrade you're tasting every single week. Now, before we finish on a high note, there's one more question I can't skip because for a lot of families, it's the whole ball game. Con number 4. The schools. The main public school system is Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, or CMS, and it's just had one of its best school years on record. 89.1% of CMS students met or beat their growth targets. It's the highest the district ranked in years. But here's the truth, and I'd be doing you a disservice if I sugarcoated it. In a district this big, the ratings still swing wide from one school to the next, one neighborhood to the other. The official numbers change a lot depending on the specific schools and its zone. That's why smart families don't shop by district. They shop by a specific school. A lot of buyers weigh their CMS options against nearby districts and private school choices, and Charlotte's got plenty of those. So, how should that shape the way you buy? You do your homework before you pick the home. Check the official school data, look at the commute, and understand the school zoning rules for any address you are truly serious about. The house might be perfect, but if the school zone isn't what you assumed, that's going to be a red flag and a problem you don't want to find about after closing. Nail that down and you've protected both your kids and your home value. Now, let me send you off with my favorite reason to live here. Pro number 4, the weather. Let me finish with the thing that pulls people down here and then convinces them to stay. Charlotte gives you 4 real seasons without the brutal winters that grind folks down up north. The average high runs around 72 degrees and you're only getting about 3 inches of snow per year. So you get the crisp fall and the pretty spring without spending 5 months digging your car out of the driveway and slipping your way inside after a night out. And here's what that unlocks. All the lifestyle I walked you through, the Whitewater Center, the greenways, the concerts, the car shows, the weathers, what keeps it open almost all year long. Now, I'll be straight with you, and you already saw this coming. The trade-off for all that warmth is the summer humidity and the bugs we talked about earlier. It's the same coin. The very thing that makes the weather so nice is what keeps the mosquitoes fat and happy. But for most folks who make that move, mild winters and a little summer stickiness beats months of gray and snow and dreary every single time. That's the trade they make again and again and again. Charlotte doesn't ask you to ignore flaws. It asks whether the trade-offs line up with the life you're trying to build. And for most folks who move here, they do. The real work is pinpointing which corner of it fits you and your lifestyle. And that's the exact thing I help people get right every single week. So whether you're coming over next week, next month, or even next year, reach out. My contact information is right here. Check out the video that I linked right here where I break down why Charlotte's going backwards and which suburbs are pulling buyers away from the city to get an even better understanding of the area. Until next time, hope to show you around town.